when I think about Amazing Race, you see the world, right?
Oh,
And then
yeah.
through Below Deck, you see the world. They go all over. I wonder if part of it is like realizing how small we are, not in like a negative way, but to know like there's so much life ahead of
Happening.
us, and there's so much world that we will get to the point where we want to travel again, or we're
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something that makes our grief feel small. And I mean
Mm-hmm.
that in a way of like, it will eventually will not be all consuming. Right now it is, but
Mm-hmm.
eventually it won't. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so much world. And it just kind of like, I don't know, for me at least, I feel like part of it was like, this is us and our world right now, but eventually it will grow and we will go travel again. We will go see exciting places and feel joy again. It kind of was a little glimmer of hope.
Welcome to The Rainbow Connection. This podcast was designed for mothers who are finding their way through life after loss. Whether you're grieving, trying to conceive again, newly pregnant, or holding hope in your heart for what's to come, this space is for you. Each week, you'll hear real and tender stories of love, heartbreak, healing, and the babies who continue to shape us. I'm your host, Kristen Mundy, a mother, doula, and a woman who's walked this path too. May these conversations remind you that you are not alone, that your baby is never forgotten, and that hope and grief can live here together. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to introduce you to The Haven, my signature support program for mothers who are pregnant again after experiencing miscarriage, TFMR, stillbirth, or infant loss. This is not just a course. The Haven is a trauma-informed community program that includes weekly live workshops, expert guest speakers, and ongoing support from me, an experienced doula and fellow loss mom, whenever you need it. You'll also receive one-on-one check-ins, guided journaling prompts, full access to my birth course Reclaim, and a warm, intimate community of other PAL mothers, a place where you can be real, be held, and be reminded that you are not alone in this. Enrollment inside the Haven is now open, and support is available to walk with you through your entire pregnancy, from the moment you see those 2 pink lines all the way until your baby is tucked safely into your arms. If you've been longing for a place to be safe, be seen, and be supported throughout your pregnancy, then the Haven was made for you. You can learn more at thedoulalife.ca/haven. Inside the Haven, your baby is remembered, your voice is honored, and you are fully supported every step of the way. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Rainbow Connection. I actually have not sat down and recorded an episode in so long, and I am really excited about today's conversation. We are welcoming back one of our OG guests that we recorded with pretty much exactly a year ago. I have Bri sitting down with me. You probably remember her. Hi, Bri. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I'm really looking forward to chatting. We are going to do a little bit of a different kind of episode today. We're going to dig into loss because, being a lost mom means anything we talk about obviously always comes back to loss and who we are as individuals and what our story entails. But we're going to dig in a little bit about grief in reality TV. This is something like Bri and I have been talking about for like a year. It is a phenomenon. I polled my followers the other day, be like, is this a thing for you guys? Like, is this something that you want to talk about? And everyone was like, yes. Like, what is with that? Like, why?
What is it?
Like, where is the magic? Because there is, in my opinion, some magic behind it. But you know what? Before we dig into the reality world, for those of us have listened to your story, Bri, and Caroline's story, we were just talking about how when we first recorded, you were super duper pregnant, and we haven't been able to give our audience any sort of update. And I would just love to hear, what has the last year kind of looked like for you?
Yeah.
It's a big
So
question.
yes. Wow. It's been a year. I can't believe he's going to be a year on Saturday. It's wild.
Wow.
So my son, Maverick, he's here and he's alive and healthy,
Mm.
which I know was something, we talked about being super pregnant and
Hmm.
it's a fear. And so, he was born August 1st and, something that my husband and I talked about after Caroline passed back in 2023 was we were going to really try to reshape our lifestyle so that I can um, potentially leave my job and be home with our next baby. Given, everything we've gone through, our perspectives has changed on life. I've been working since I was 14 years old.
Hmm.
This is something I really wanted to do, and my husband really wanted to make it happen and
Well,
help
and
me make it happen.
if there ever was a time to have a break and be present, it would be now, right?
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
So that's exactly what happened, and I'm home with him, and I, I get to really see all those little changes that happen every day, those little moments.
Hmm.
I feel like as lost moms, we have a different lens that we're looking through when we parent our kid. Like we really don't take any moment for granted. And I've been very lucky in that regard, able to spend time with him. It doesn't mean it isn't hard. I want to put that
Hmm.
out there. It doesn't mean I'm just happy every single
Hmm.
day. But it has been such a blessing, and yeah, he's killing it. He's walking, he's clapping, he's waving, he's a very curious little boy. So
Hmm.
so happy to have this job of being his mom.
Hmm. Hmm. The hardest, best job in the world, right?
Yes, for sure.
Totally.
Yes.
Well, I speak on behalf of everybody listening. We're obviously over the moon, thrilled for you, and just sending you so much love and congratulations. Even a year after, like I think there's double congratulations that need to be done because you got through your first year. Like being postpartum, like the first year with an Urside child is a feat. It is so
Yes.
like like you said, we don't take anything for granted being a lost mom when we were parenting a living child, but that comes at a cost in itself because it's like just so many emotions, like so much joy. And then there's the grief, and it's like, oh my God, like how does the human heart actually, how is it able to hold all of this? I remember, when Senna started, like her first smile or just like the smallest things, like they were such huge things. And I'm like, oh my God, like even the joy is just going to like set me out. Like this is so hard. And then you have the hormones and everything else. It's just such an amazing feat. And I'm just so glad that you got to be present for all of it. That is a really big
Yes.
deal. Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, like you said, postpartum, I mean, we go through postpartum as lost moms, whether you
Hmm.
lose your baby early or after they're born or, you experience postpartum. And I
Hmm.
definitely underestimated it because,
Mhm.
going through it with Caroline, I was like, this is grief. It's so heavy and it's so intense.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I didn't know what was postpartum and what was grief. So I just
Totally.
kind of assumed it was grief. And so this time with him, my expectation was like, it's going to be easy. It's nothing compared to what I went through. It's hard. It is so
Mhm.
hard. And I
Mhm.
think we have trouble complaining because it's like, well, we've gone through
You
harder, but this is hard.
This is still hard, and
So,
it's like you
yes,
should just you made it. Like you should be so grateful. Like the same kind of things that
yes,
we got the
yeah,
first time, right?
yeah, yep,
I
yep,
I totally understand it, and like it was very much. I think we do a disservice really to say that, to not name it and not say that it's hard, because it really is. And what's different between parenting an Earthside child versus going through postpartum without one is like you don't really get to grieve on the couch and sleep in, and like you
yep,
still got to show up every day. And there is a lack of sleep in grief. Like I remember my sleep being so affected. but then I could nap the next day. Like, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Whereas like
Yeah.
now when my sleep is affected by my living child, which is wonderful, a huge blessing to have. And I get to like have a reason for, my difficult sleep, but I still got to show up the whole next day. And it's like, it really is hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
There's also the element too, where like grief does fit in there as well. So we have the grief from before. It might not feel like as raw, but it's still there, right? It's still an active part of us. So it's like having to show up plus the grief, plus the normal postpartum struggles. It's a feat. So
yeah. Well, and not to mention it's the common thread between grief and postpartum was reality TV for me.
Totally. And perfect segue.
Happened, yeah, like through the grief and then through the newborn trenches, it was like, all right, what do we got? Let's turn on Netflix.
It's so funny because I was like, preparing for this episode, I'm like, what is my relationship with reality TV? And I'm like, I am too in it. Like, that was the conclusion I went to. I'm like, I'll talk on Instagram sometimes and be like, guys, like, did you see this? Like, we had one scandal before and now we have another scandal, and people are like, Kristen, like, who cares? My husband's always like, he's not in it with me. And he's always like, why do you care so much? And I'm like, this is such a big deal, but we'll dig into it. Like it really has been a huge coping strategy for me as well. Yeah. So let's talk about it. Where do we want to start?
Let's do it.
I know that we aren't the only ones, just even from polling my followers, like we're not the only ones who reality TV kind of has like a clutch on us. Like, I don't know what it is, but I think one really big part is like escaping reality, right?
Yes. Yes.
Tell me like where your reality TV started. Yeah. Let's talk about that.
So I think it really started during COVID. And I think like, there was this stigma around reality TV, Jersey Shore. Like I never really watched Jersey Shore or anything.
I love Jersey Shore. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So mine started like a while ago.
I watched Real Housewives for a while. I went to college in Orange County. So they would always be wandering around. And so I kind of got into it in college, but then that was it. It wasn't anything like I followed them or anything. And then COVID hit, Love is Blind came out. Incredible. Masterpiece.
And I remember that show had us by like a
chokehold. It was a chokehold for sure.
Like, do you remember
so good.
Jessica? She's like the one person that stands out for me.
Yes. I remember her. Okay. This is going to be way too in the weeds, but I remember her when they go on their trip to Mexico and she's standing on the balcony and she's like, I just love the waves. And I just like, I don't know, that soundbite just lives on in my head of like,
everyone was talking about her though. No one was working and everyone was watching her. That poor girl. She was put through the ringer, but
she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. But respect. She made the show. Like it was so fun to watch. So I watched Love is Blind. My husband would kind of come in and like kind of stand over the couch and like, well, I thought she was with the other guy.
Yeah, like ask those random questions, pretend they're not really watching, but you know they're in it. Mm-hmm.
So, so that was COVID, and I think all of us are kind of looking for an escape there, and so and everyone was kind of grieving for something, whether it's outings, weddings, birthdays, seeing their family. Family was like people were dying and really sick, and so
losing their jobs, losing their livelihood, like not able to buy themselves food. Like it was a crazy time.
Totally. So I think it served as an escapism there, like a little slice of different reality. But I never really, thought about it that way until going to fast forwarding to 2022, I'm pregnant with Caroline and we get her diagnosis in December. And I remember we went to my husband's uncle's house, and he has two daughters who are amazing. We're very close to their family. They are Caroline Maverick's godparents, and we just got the diagnosis, and we were just kind of disassociating. Like we couldn't really
Mm-hmm.
have held a conversation without talking about it or bringing it up or trying to get somebody to reassure us that it's going to be okay. Like that's all we could think about.
Mm-hmm.
And they put on Amazing Race, which I never watched in my life. Like I know it's been
Mm-hmm.
around forever. And so they put on Amazing Race, and we were kind of like, oh, like where are they? Oh, what's their relationship? Oh, their father son. Oh, what's their relation? Oh, they're fighting. And it kind of like got us out of it for a little bit, and we could
Mm-hmm.
kind of put all of our questions and stress to the side and just watch. And
Mm-hmm.
so when we got home, we kind of were like, let's watch a random season. Like I said, it's been around forever. And then when we found out we had to move to Stanford, which is about 2.5 hours away from where we live, and do all of our appointments and everything there, um, I told my husband, like, bring the fire stick, like we're gonna.
We
And
need
so
it.
we need it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we brought it, and I remember being hospitalized for Caroline. And the doctors would come in, they do their thing and everything. And when the lights go out and it's kind of bedtime, um, this is when I was still pregnant. We would pull out the laptop and put on Amazing Race, and it was like this. My husband would climb into the hospital bed with me, and it was just this little slice of normalcy, like.
Mm-hmm.
And there were no triggers. Like no one was pregnant on Amazing Race. You couldn't do Amazing Race pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there was no like we didn't have to worry about that. We could just watch and just be
Mm-hmm.
present and put everything aside.
It was a reprieve.
Yes, yes, it
Mm-hmm.
was definitely a reprieve. And then
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want me to get into after Caroline and
Yeah,
that whole
let's do
thing.
it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So um that's kind of what we did in the hospital. And obviously, when she was born, we didn't have any time to do that. And we didn't want to. We just wanted to spend it with
Mm-hmm. Of
her.
course.
Um, and then after she died and we came home, so she passed away in the evening of February 24th. We stayed in a hotel that night. And the next day, we got our stuff and came home. And I remember getting home, and we had family with us, helped us kind of unload and everything. And we just turned on Netflix. As sick as it sounds, we turned on Netflix, and The Perfect Match had just come out.
Mm.
And we were like, oh, why
Why
not?
not?
And so we watched The Perfect Match for hours.
It's just such a bizarre thing to think of, right? Because like if anyone hadn't gone through that or had to say goodbye to their child, like it would be just like such a weird concept. But I think that stage after your child has died is like this weird limbo, like of how do you do anything again? Like how do you eat?
Yeah,
How do you do it? Like nothing feels right. And then TV
right.
is just like it takes you out, right? It just like
Yeah,
it can bring you somewhere else where you can disassociate and just like be immersed in someone else's life for just a little bit, right?
totally. No,
Mhm.
totally. I think when people think about death, then they don't really talk about the immediate moments after. And so
Mhm.
everything feels wrong.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, of course we sobbed in the fetal position on the floor. But what about those moments in between? You can't just sob for days on end nonstop.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
those moments in between, we needed noise, and I couldn't listen to music. I don't know about you. I couldn't listen to music.
No.
I couldn't do it.
Mhm. The
Um,
only time I ever listened to music was, like, when I needed to, like, have a mental breakdown.
yeah, and cry.
Yeah, only
Yeah.
time. Like, there
Yep.
is no way the radio was coming on. There's no way Spotify Shuffle would go on unless I was, like,
No.
prepared to be down and out for a good day.
Yeah, I had a
Mhm.
playlist of all the sad songs that would make me cry, and when my body was just like I need to cry for the next hour, I'd turn it on. Only
Mm-hmm.
music I listened to for probably like 6 months.
Totally. Same here.
And so yeah, we watched Perfect Match for hours. I remember like family coming over and like, okay, that's a choice. Like they were just like, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we would something like that I remember specifically is we had kind of this unlike spoken term called train. And so whenever we would just break down, because those early days, like you just all of a sudden break down.
Mm-hmm.
And so when either of us would break down, we'd pause the show and we'd go, we is a train. Like we would like kind of use it as like it's a train hitting you because that's what it felt like. It felt like a
Mm-hmm.
train hitting you and everything started happening. So we would sob
Mm-hmm.
and we would just sit with each other. And it was
Mm-hmm.
not, we didn't really say anything because what is there to say? So we would
Mm-hmm.
sit with each other. My husband would sob or I would sob. And then once that the train passed and we got a breath, we'd be like, all right, let's go. Let's keep
Turn it back
watching.
on.
Yeah.
It's just such a crazy concept. And I know so many women are going to listen to this and be like, yeah, like very much the same thing in our house. Like my husband, we have like different tastes in TV, but he like loves reality TV, like, but the shows, like the dating shows, like Perfect Match, Love is Blind. Like he
Okay.
watches it by himself. And I'm always like, I almost give him a stink eye because I'm like, some of them are like a little too much for me, a little too dramatic. I'm like, okay, like I'm kind of the one in the corner like saying the comments, and he's like, "Are you gonna watch this? Are you just gonna like sit over there and try?" But it's very much the same as us, and like I think that, like you said, everything feels weird, and what else do you do? And reality TV for us was like literally being able to turn my brain off because my
hmm
brain was like my worst enemy. And I was like, how can I escape and go into a different world? Like, I just need a break. Because it's true. Like, I remember the early days when we're talking about that train, like, the train comes, like, it could come in the middle of the night. I would wake up crying in the middle of the night. Like,
Yeah.
I wasn't even awake yet. And I, like, woke up to
Yes.
myself crying. And I'm like, oh,
Yes.
wow. And I don't think it's really it's really hard to conceptualize or like understand how desperate you need a reprieve from that
Yes.
and an escape.
Yes.
Yeah.
I there's this other podcast. I can't remember which one it was, but they two women, two lost moms, and they I think it's As Long as I'm Living. I think that's the part. I want to give them credit, but they reference it as like being on a rock in the middle of the ocean and like
Mm,
just waves smashing on you. And as time goes on, you are you're able to sit on the rock a little bit longer without the waves hitting you, able to catch your breath. Because that
mhm,
is real. I was sitting down kind of preparing for this podcast, like really trying to think about those early days and like the crying. Crying doesn't even do it justice. It's
mhm,
like guttural sobbing,
mhm,
like
mhm. It's
like
like
where
it's hysterics,
it's
right?
it's
Mhm,
hysterics. It's
mhm,
it's like you cannot catch your breath.
mhm,
All of your tears have come out of your face to the point where
mhm.
you're hot, you're
Raw.
flushed, you're raw, you're snot dripping down your nose. You are just desperate. You're
Mhm,
at
mhm,
your lowest moments. Like you've
mhm,
never been so devastated. And
mhm,
that's not just the first days or the first week. It's months where
mhm.
it hits you. Just it'll hit you. You're out in public. It'll hit you. You're talking to a friend and you have no control. You have or something will remind you of them and you need to just it just comes out. And like
Mhm.
so when you recover from that, like you said, it feels like you just like, I don't know, lifted a car. Like you're exhausted and your eyes are dry and you can't do anything. You're shaking and all
Mhm.
you want is to be taken out of that moment. All that
Mhm.
that's all your brain can manage is like,
Mhm.
I'm in survival. Like I'm just trying to get you from hour to hour. So let's put something on that I can just shut off so that when you need me, I can help you survive and get to the next hour.
Yeah, and that's actually going to like pass time for you too. Because I remember just being like, today is really freaking raw. Like, how am I going to get through the day? Maybe tomorrow will feel better. So like, how am I going to get there as fast as possible?
Yes.
I'm going to just veg out all day watching TV because like, I can't do it today. I really just can't. Like last night was enough. And like, my body is like, I'm out. Like I literally can't cry anymore. I like need a break from this. And you brought up a really good point too, because like any other TV, I mean, not all, but you don't know what you're kind of signing up for sometimes. Like we've all watched Friends, we've all watched The Office. Like those could be like safe, nostalgic shows, which I also partaked in as well. But I found like, especially with the Bravoverse, that I wasn't going to probably be triggered by like miscarriage or stillbirth or like infant death. Like I felt like I was just clubbing with some people, dealing with their drama, and I'm like, that I feel like I could tolerate. At least for me. I was like, because I remember even when I started watching like regular TV again, a perfect example is House of Dragon. Like I've watched all of Game of Thrones. I'm a huge Game of Thrones nerd. And I started House of the Dragon, and like, what was it? The first 3 episodes, there was like a horrible stillbirth scene, and I was like, not prepared for regular TV. Like that's cool.
Oh my gosh.
I know. Like I just was like so caught off guard, and I did not feel that way at all. Like with reality TV, I was like,
no.
It kind of reminded me, honestly, a little bit of like who I used to be too. Just being like, I remember the days that I was, acted a fool and I got to drink and go to the clubs and had like drama with my boyfriend. I was like, those are the good old days, like when life was so simple.
Yeah, like not.
It was hard then, but like it felt way more simpler than grieving the death of my child.
Totally. And like, not to minimize anything anyone's going through on reality TV, because I would never put my life on camera. Like that is it's wild that they do that. But I totally agree. Most problems on reality TV are so small that you're just like, oh, I would love if this was the worst thing going on in my life right now. Like I would love a heartbreak, or a girlfriend to fight with. Like I am so indifferent about everything that I would love to care about that right now. So that the fact that I can just watch and you care, and I can just, sit there and just like, and like talking to your partner about it, like, oh, who do you think is right, or who do you trust? And
I did love that part. I loved like dissecting it with my husband, being like, the drama, and like being able to connect about something else other than the worst time of our lives, and being able to like honestly talk about someone else without feeling like kind of an asshole. Like that sounds bad, but it's like,
no,
let's dissect them. Let's psychoanalyze them. Let's take a break from psychoanalyzing what's going on in our lives and like talk about someone else's. I do like agree with you. There are actual hardships online, and like one of the biggest ones was like kind of when I got into the Bravoverse, Scandal, and like I know we talked about it before we recorded, but that had me on such a chokehold again, was Sandoval, right? Am I saying it right?
Sandoval.
Yeah. And if you are familiar, if you don't watch Vanderpump Rules,
the best.
Yeah. That it definitely is my number one reality TV show. And
okay, so let's hear like your number ones.
Okay.
Like,
Okay. So my history with reality TV goes back. Like I watched Survivor in like the OG days. I think Survivor came out like 25 years ago. Like something crazy.
That's crazy.
I never watched it the whole time, but I remember like that was probably the first reality TV ever, I think, right?
I think so. And where people got, that and American Idol, I would say came out like around the same. Oh, Big Brother.
Big Brother. Yeah.
That's
So,
older, I think.
okay. So I
Maybe?
loved all those shows back in the day. I
Yeah.
got off of it, but I watched Jersey Shore. I love Jersey Shore. It was just such an escape, and it was like such a different way of life that I was like, this is just so fascinating. But I also had like my own like ratchet clubbing phase where I'm like, this feels fun to watch someone else do it and like not be living those days anymore. But my top shows, I would say Vanderpump Rules is number one. Um, uh, I started watching it when Scandal happened, and that was like my first Bravo show. And
Same.
I was like, how do I not know about these
Same.
shows? Like, this is opening me up to a whole new universe. Like, how did I
Yes.
not know? It was a great day. Number two is probably Summer House, I would say. And my husband and I really love Below Deck. That's another one that we really love.
Okay. Below Deck is the one I remember that we watched. We just put it on because there's like 50 seasons or something,
There's
and they
so
go.
many.
They're all over the world, and so
Mhm.
we would have Below Deck on. I'm not kidding you. From the moment we woke up, which in the grieving days was probably like 9 or 10 a.m.,
Mhm.
to the moment we went to bed, which was probably like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Mhm.
Below Deck was just on to the point where our TV was asking us like 5 times, "Are you still watching this?" And we
You're
were
like,
like, "Hell
am
yes, we
I?
are."
I
Yeah,
think so.
am I?
Yeah. Yeah. So Below Deck, we've watched a lot of seasons of that. And like, we used to live on a sailboat. We love
You
travel. So it
did?
was like,
It's
yeah. So like,
amazing.
it kind of like brought us back to like the OG days. Again, it was like escapism where we got to be like, remember when those were our problems? Remember how fun it was to be on a boat or like to travel? Like, I do love the travel aspect too, because you're like,
Yes.
it'd be nice to travel and just like pretend that you're somewhere else that's like warm and sunny and what?
Yeah.
What were
I
you
was
gonna
just
say?
gonna say, you just sparked something for me. I think like that travel thing, because when I think about Amazing Race, you see the world, right?
Oh
And then
yeah.
through Below Deck, you see the world. They go all over. I wonder if part of it is like realizing how small we are, and like
Mm-hmm.
not in like a negative way, but to know like there's so much life ahead of
Happening.
us, and there's so much world that we will get to the point where we want to travel again, or
Mm-hmm.
we're
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, something that makes our grief feel small. And I mean
Mm-hmm.
that in a way of like, it it will eventually will not be all consuming. Right now it is, but
Mm-hmm.
eventually it won't. And
Mm-hmm.
there's so much world, and it just kind of like, I don't know, for me at least, I feel like part of it was like, this is us and our world right now, but eventually it will grow, and we will go travel again. We will go see exciting places and feel joy again. It kind of was a little glimmer of hope.
I hope you're enjoying this episode. While we take a quick break, I want to speak to the moms listening who are in a very specific, very layered season. If you are parenting a living child after pregnancy or infant loss, whether you recently welcomed your rainbow baby or you are raising a child while grieving another baby, and realizing that this chapter feels a little more complex than you expected, well, I created something with you in mind. Because parenting after loss is not one story. It can look like holding your earthside child while missing the one who isn't here. It can look like loving your baby deeply while navigating fresh grief. It can look like gratitude and heartbreak living side by side. And that can feel incredibly isolating. And that's exactly why I created The Nest. The Nest is a supportive, ongoing community space for mothers raising a living child after pregnancy or infant loss. It's a space where you don't have to explain the coexistence of joy and grief, where identity shifts, relationship strains, nervous system overwhelm, and the very real postpartum experience are spoken about honestly, not minimized. Inside, you'll find trauma-informed postpartum doula support, 2 virtual community calls each month, and most importantly, a village of women who understand this season without you having to translate it. If you've been looking for your village in your Earth Mama era, whether that season feels joyful, heavy, or somewhere in between, you can learn more at thedoulalife.ca/nest. And if you do decide to join us, please use promo code NEST1 to get your first month free. Okay, now let's get back to the episode. I felt like that too, because I remember even when I thought about our old travel days, I'm like, those were the happiest days. Like when we used to be so adventurous before we decided to start a family. Like my husband and I love to travel. We like lived in Australia for a while. We lived in Bali. We lived on the sailboat.
Wow.
We've traveled so many different places. Like we used to be like fun. We used to be fun. And like watching those shows, it's kind of like, remember that? And like, we got to do that again. It was almost like a goal.
Yeah.
Like if we were to go away again, that would probably feel good. Like we need to do that again. So very much probably the same. And I think I'm just putting that together too. Like I do know I love watching people travel. I got into like Housewives a bit, but that was one of the shows where I'm like, okay, this is too much. This is feeling a little bit too much for me. Like there is moments where I'm like, I like this. Like I watched the early days of, I think it's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. I watched like the earlier seasons, but then when it came to like,
Richard.
Yeah. But now when it's like these seasons, I'm like, I can't anymore. Like I think like ever since I had Senna, I'm like, this is too much for me. Can't do it. Yeah. I did. One show that really surprised me that I did not think that I would get into is the Kardashians. Because I always said, I've never watched the Kardashians. I'm never going to watch the Kardashians. And then one day I was like, and I pressed play and I was like, oh. And I watched like every single season. I was like, this is kind of embarrassing, but I actually kind of love that.
I mean, they're famous for a reason.
Right? You know? It's so maybe I don't love them, but they're so interesting. Like it's just a total different way of life. Sometimes I felt like, too, my grief was so big. It was so huge that almost like that feeling of like the world being so big and people having other problems, it like made my grief feel less important. And that kind of also gave me a reprieve.
That's what I was kind of trying to say is like it made the grief feel small in a way of like
tolerable, more tolerable.
Yes, that's a better term. Yeah, more tolerable and more like it just like more we can get through this. Like there are so many years hopefully ahead of us that we will get through this together. We'll never be healed and like, okay, that was, we're moving on. But it was, a way to like kind of compartmentalize our grief and put it somewhere and put it down for a second.
Well, we talk about that a lot in like, we have coping strategies for a reason, right? Like disassociation or like whatever way that you are talking yourself about the size of your grief or how you're able to tolerate it. If it's not hurting you, then it's like all bets are on. Like you got to do whatever you can because you can't, like you said, you can't be crying and be in this 100% of the time. Like it will destroy you. Like it won't even just destroy you. You literally can't. So like anytime that you can disassociate, David Kessler has this quote where it's like denial or disassociation is like your body's way of like titrating your grief because it knows I can't take this all on and I have to go somewhere else to be able to tolerate this. I have to make this smaller in whatever way that I can for me to be able to like look at it. So it's like whatever you got to do, just do it. Reality TV was one of those ways for me.
100%.
Okay, tell me your top shows.
Okay. So I mean, we started off with Perfect Match, but I would not. Sorry, Netflix. That was just anymore. To get through the day. No, I would definitely say Below Deck was what really got us through, and the reason we started Below Deck is because Jordan's uncle again started us on Traitors.
Okay.
Which we started watching Traitors and we became super obsessed with it. We were like, this is, again, and I don't know if you've seen it, but it is
I've never seen it, but now I'm like, I feel like I need to watch it.
You need to see it. And they have Traitors Canada, which is great.
There's like some scandal with that too. I'm like, so yeah.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Like,
offline. That sounds,
yeah.
I want to know. Um, but yeah, so we started watching Traders, which is like we kind of talked about like that morbidity. You know, they talk about
Mhm.
murder and everything, but it didn't bother us for some reason because it's so campy and goofy. So
Mhm.
Traders US, the first season, they pulled people from reality TV, which is the whole goal, right? They want you to watch
Mhm.
it and then you start, who's this? Well, where are they from? And then you start watching those shows. It's exactly what we did. So we
Mhm.
fell in love with Kate from Below Deck. She's on the
Okay.
first season of Traders. So we fell in love with Kate. So we were like, what is Kate from? She's from Below Deck. We're going to watch Below Deck. Another person was Kyle Cook. He was on the first season. And we
Okay.
were like,
So
oh,
interesting.
Kyle Cook, he's on Summer House. Let's watch Summer House. And then VPR and Summer House kind of had a crossover at some point. So we were like, oh, we just followed the leader when it came to Bravo. We
Well,
were like,
Stassi, I'm pretty sure Stassi was in the first episode of Summer
yes,
House,
Summer House.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So, and then, so some, I would say Traders for sure.
Mhm.
Below Deck, and then VPR, the whole Scandival. So my husband and I saw a clip of the reunion online where they're like, where James Kennedy goes off on him and says, "You're a
Like,
worm
you're a
with a
worm with a
mustache."
mustache.
And yeah, it's so great. And my husband and I were like, we have to watch this show. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
started from the beginning, and then we were watching Summer House at the same time. And I would say VPR and Summer House got us through, pulled us through like February,
Mhm.
March, or March, April, May, June. Like at least that portion of our grief, which was early days, it like
Mhm.
we just pounded out those shows, and it, like you said, it passed the time. It allowed us to
Mhm.
escape. It allowed us to talk about something other than our grief and our sadness
Mhm.
and how sad our life is. And I wonder if part of it too is like when you lose a child, you're such a you're such a spectacle. Like people talk about you, and you know people are
Mhm.
feeling bad for you, and people are checking in on you, and you can just feel
Mhm.
all of that like chatter behind you. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
so I
yeah.
wonder if watching these shows gives you an opportunity to be on the other side and like
Mhm.
get to pull yourself out of your life and be like, I'm going to watch these people now and I'm going to judge them
It's not going to
and
be
talk
about me
about
for a
them.
minute. Yeah,
Yes.
totally. Well, when you said train wreck too, I was like, part of it is like also watching someone else's train wreck and being like,
Yeah.
okay, like that is also repeat. But I do remember too, when we just said word with a mustache, I'm like, I think watching reality TV after my daughter died, I think it was probably the first time I laughed in a really long time. And I was like,
Agree.
this is a part of it too. Like, I
Mhm.
can laugh at you and know that, like, it doesn't mean anything about me because I'm, like, laughing at you pretty much. It doesn't mean, like, I'm healed, but, like, and no one's here to watch me laugh. Do you know what I mean? Like, I could
Yeah.
just laugh in
Yeah.
the comfort of my own home without someone making it mean something that it doesn't.
Right. Like you're all better or I'm glad to
Mhm.
see you're feeling better. It's like, no,
Mhm.
no, that was a
Mhm.
moment. It was funny. I still
Mhm.
feel like I'm going to die, but
Mhm. Totally.
I can laugh.
Mhm. And, like, my husband can laugh. Like, we both can do it together. Like, I remember that just being and feeling almost like healing. Like, oh, we can actually laugh at this. That feels really nice. Scandival, like, I'm trying to think of, I mean, I watched so much reality. We lost Vienna pretty much during COVID. So we had like kind of the double whammy. And when she
Hmm.
died, like dealing with COVID, but then also dealing with her loss, like TV has always been my coping strategy. It's never been drugs or alcohol or anything like that. It's always been
Yeah.
TV. TV is like the way that I decompress. It's the way that I turn things off. And it's definitely what happened with her. And then the reality, like when I got pregnant again with Senna, it was like another trauma for me that I'm like, I am hyper vigilant all day, every day. And
Yeah.
it was like another time where I'm like, I literally can't keep this up and I actually need to disassociate. So that's when I really found the Bravo verse. And I remember started watching some shows. I think I started with the Kardashians actually. And I remember my husband being like, I don't know if I want to expose our baby to this. Like, he was actually like kind of concerned. He was like, Kristen, you're watching so much Kardashians right now. I don't really know how I feel about this. And I'm like, come on. Like, it's getting me through the day. We had like a really good laugh about it. And then I remember when Scandival. So anyone that is a Bravo watcher knows what we're talking about when we say Scandival. And if you don't, there was like this really big scandal on Vanderpump Rules. It became a really huge moment in reality TV history, I would say. And the way that I first learned about it was like, I would be on Instagram and like every single post was talking about the scandal. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I think I need to watch it because like everyone's talking about it. And I feel like I don't know what's happening and like I want to get into this. So my husband and I started. I was very fresh postpartum. I was like not sleeping. My daughter did not sleep. Full disclosure, my baby hasn't slept. I don't talk about it online, but my baby has never slept pretty much in her whole life. And she wasn't sleeping. And like that's how I got through my days was like starting VPR from day one and being like, this is so nice. I'd just be like cuddling on the couch with her. And I'm like, this is probably the happiest days of my life. Like cuddling on the couch with her, watching VPR. Like that's why it's my number one show because it's so associated with that time. And I know you had a very, very different experience, which is that's like the crazy part is like how people are living such different experiences all the time. But I remember that was like a really big moment for me in the reality TV world where I was like, it got me through my loss, but then it got me through like this next trauma and this next trauma too. I was like, it's always kind of been my thing, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that's wonderful that, you know, we're talking about it and that you can say like TV is my coping mechanism. Like I don't think I've ever heard anyone say it. And I think so many people relate and I know I relate. Like, yeah, I drink occasionally, but like, you know, I don't do drugs or anything like that. And so my husband and I would say like we just love like the tea. Like we want to know the tea. And like anyone who knows us knows, like we're always like, do you have the tea? Whether it's reality or and it's just like, you know, it's not it's just something that we can kind of bond over. And especially during something like losing a child or postpartum where everything is so out of your control and you're just constantly on high alert and you're constantly in survival mode to be able to just put that down and get quick quick satisfaction. It's not like I have to know who this person is or I have to like hear this backstory or you know how shows can get so like like they just try to get in the weeds and they try
or,
to
like,
get
heavy
you to like
or like
reality TV is like you can turn it on at any point and you don't need to really watch anything else. It's just like, oh, they're fighting. Okay, I want to see this.
And like also knowing that like to a degree there is editing at play and like knowing that what you're watching probably isn't the full picture, but it's like
totally.
I just love that part. Okay, one other thing that I wanted to ask you about. When I was like talking about reality TV with my followers too and like saying like who's using reality TV as like a coping strategy, a lot of women came forward and they started talking about true crime. And I'm curious if like, what do you guys feel about true crime? Is this another thing?
Yes. I think it's I think it's like, okay. So I think it is different because true crime is heavy. And this is where my husband and I differ. I can watch the really morbid murder, homicide kind of true crime. And my husband, he's like, what? Well, I don't want to watch this. Let's turn this off. Like, this is terrible. One of the first documentaries we watched after Caroline passed, because we were watching reality TV, and then we'd have a friend come over. This is another thing, not really related to TV, but we had a friend come over every Thursday and bring us dinner. And that routine was so healing for us, like just having something to look forward to every week. So if you are in the trenches, in the thick of it, I really recommend like having just something you do every week with a friend that you can just, even this little moment of just like, I get to see this person once a week. Like that was really, really healing for us. But he would come over, he'd bring dinner, he'd bring the same dinner every time. So he wasn't like, what do you want? And we'd have to look at a menu and all that stuff. And we've watched the Malaysian airline, the flight that vanished.
The soccer team?
No. No, it was a Malaysian plane that went missing.
Okay.
And it's not true crime, but it's still pretty dark. It's a plane that went missing, and we just were like super interested, and then we started going online and started conspiracy theories and all this stuff. And then that kind of kicked off more true crime that we'd watch. And I don't know, I think for me, it has to do with like wanting to figure it out. I want to figure out the motive, or I want to like understand why. I don't know, but I feel like most of my female friends, whether they've gone through loss or not, like really gravitate towards true crime more than a lot of men I know.
Like my husband too is like, why do you watch this? Like, this does not make you feel good. And I'm like, meanwhile, I'm thinking about, there's that one like social media post that goes around, like, where it's like women, for them to relax, it's like watching the most horrifying story about someone else. And I'm like, that's exactly what the experience is like for me, which is weird, but it is.
Do you, like, when you watch this, or when you watch true crime, obviously they're all different. They all kind of have like similar horrible things happen to people. Do you feel like when you see the family that's affected, is there like maybe a little bit of like a connection? Like maybe you feel like,
I feel like for me with true crime, it almost is like comforting to know that it's going to sound messed up, but that other people are going through devastation. And I
feel the same way. I agree.
I'm not alone in my devastation. And I needed to be like around other people whose lives have fallen apart.
Yeah.
And that felt comforting to me. But also, when you said the understanding thing, that is a big part of it too. I'm like, why do minds work the way they do? How do people get to this point where they actually do atrocious things? Or how are people like dealing with their devastation? Like there was these like really big questions that came to me when I do watch true crime, because I just like needed to understand the world. Like, and not even that true crime really gave me that, but it did feel like it. I don't know if you're a Redditor. This is another.
I don't, not really. I'll look up something in Reddit if I want to get to
so mostly part of me too. Like part of me too is like, I do this with reality TV too. I do this with like every single movie I watch. This is like, I am a doula through and through. Like I will tell you, I love to learn about everything. So I'll watch a true doc, and then I'll like a true crime doc, and I'll be like, go on Reddit and I'll Google it. And I have to read everyone's opinions on it, and like all the different conspiracies and thoughts. Like I really am like wanting to understand it. But I do the same thing with reality TV, where I'm like, what are people talking about? Like, I want to be in the scoop. I want to know what people are saying. Like, I love that part of it, which is like,
agree.
Yeah. So if it feels like an energy,
so similar.
I know. People listening might be like, that's probably such a waste of time and like so energy like sucking. But I'm like, no, like it literally is how I relax. Like I love reading about it. Like I really wish that I would like open a book and like learn about the world that way. But I'm like, no, like this is my thing. Like
I mean, I read psychological thrillers, so there
Okay.
is like there are books that kind of give you that same dopamine hit, I guess. But
I would love a
yeah,
smutty book too, but I haven't just
oh
gotten
yeah,
into those yet. Yeah.
no, for sure.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with everything. Just I do the same exact thing. My husband will be like, "Why are you on your phone?" And I'm like, "I'm reading," and I'll just like say things out of context to him, like, "Oh, someone said that this," like, and he'll be like, "What are you doing? We're still looking this up."
You're like,
So
yes.
that's so funny.
The
Um,
funniest is my husband won't get into the true crime with me. Like he is a bit of a sissy, which is why he loves those dating shows. Like he likes keeping things kind of PG, like
yes,
in terms of scariness. Like he'll have like a nightmare from
yeah,
it where I'm like, and I like relax into it. But when it comes to reality TV, one of the things too is like I'll Google. So the newest thing is obviously with Amanda and Wes.
yeah.
And I'm
Oh
like,
man,
that came out and I was like, Scott, you will
yeah,
never believe what is happening. And he's like, are you okay? Like, I'm way more deep than he is. He's like, well, it kind of makes sense. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, how are you not like on my side about this, about like those kind of things too, where it's like, it, it sounds so ridiculous. But my husband, and then I will like get into a fight over reality TV. I'm like, how do you not understand how wrong this is? And he's like, he's so logical. And I'm like, okay,
yeah.
I hate that part.
I no, I mean the same thing because my husband's not really online. Like
Mhm.
he'll do like
Neither is
Reddit and stuff,
Scott.
but
Yeah.
yeah. And so I'll be like, oh my God, I think West and Amanda, like there's all this talk about West and Amanda. And Jordan was like, my husband is Jordan was just like, no, there's no way. Like he was in the camp that everyone was in of like, there's no way. That's all
Hmm.
talk. They're just trying to, and he's very logical too. So he's always, and he's in sales. So he's kind of got the brain of like, well, they want people to watch the show. The show
Hmm.
comes out I think it came out in April or something. This was in
Hmm.
March. And so he's like, it's all PR just to get people to watch the
Well,
show.
and
And
look
I
what
was like,
happened
okay,
with Scandival,
yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
100%. And so I was kind of like, "Oh, you might be right. Like you might be
Hmm.
right." And then they put their statement out and I showed it to him and he was like, "Oh my God." Like he was like he was like, "Oh my gosh." Like
Okay,
we were
that's the
full in.
response. That's the response I needed. I went to Scott. He was like, well, her and Kyle aren't together, and like she probably just wants to be happy. And I was like, Scott, how dare
Oh,
you?
it's so no.
How do you not
No.
understand? Yeah,
Yeah.
it
It
was
was
like a big thing.
great.
I remember
It
you and I
was
talking about it though, being like,
yeah.
do you think, like, I think this is legit. And I was like deep in the Reddit. I was like, there's a photo here. Sierra tracked her, her location to West's apartment on this date. I like knew all the timeline. I'm like, I think this is a legitimate thing. And then
Well,
the
yeah.
statement came out and we're like, okay, now we
I
know.
think you were the first person I sent the statement to. I think I showed you, but I sent it to you before I showed my husband. I was like,
We
oh
get it
my
though.
God.
It's shocking. It
Yeah.
was shocking. I remember that part for sure.
Yeah.
Shh.
No, it was so good. It was
Yeah,
like, it was just like a little morsel of like, oh, thank you, Bravo. Like,
I
thank
know.
you. We needed this.
I know. Because even if, like, we're not in the thick era of our grief, like the raw, like those kind of ones where the train is coming all the time,
Yeah,
like we said, motherhood is still really hard and we still like need reprieve even from that, right? And who
yeah,
doesn't want, of all the reprieves that we can take, this one is like pretty harmless. So,
totally. Exactly. Who is it hurting? I get, I feel like there are a lot of people who judge, I would never watch reality TV or like, I, I probably was one of those people back in the day, like,
hmm.
oh, I'll never get into that. Like,
Hmm.
and then, it's just like, who cares? It's like
It's not hurting
why
anyone.
does it,
Yeah.
they're not hurting anyone. And if we can just get, like, if that is the way we can unwind and turn our brain off and enjoy our time with our partner, with a friend, whoever, then
Hmm.
why is it so wrong. I mean, these people are getting paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like on TV,
Mm-hmm.
like they do it for
It's
a
their
living.
job. We're actually being really supportive. Like
We are women, women in
we're-
STEM. No kidding.
it's true. Okay, tell me a little bit. I know we chatted about it before we press record, but tell me your
Yeah.
experience with The Pit. That's like one
Okay.
of the shows that's like, it kind of borders on two different genres, right? Because it's like, it's very reality TV focused, but it's not reality
Yes.
TV. It's a
No.
show
Yes.
with a lot of like qualities of reality TV, the trauma, right, of it all.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So, I got into it later. I think, like, I want to say like a few months ago, really. Like, I know
Mm,
it's been around for a year or two, a couple years. And everyone was like kind of telling me to watch it. And then, I started watching it with my husband. We actually were going to watch it before when I was pregnant with Maverick. And then my husband didn't want to, which is
mm,
smart because there's a
mm-hmm.
lot of birthing
Totally.
like
Trauma, birth
trauma
trauma.
in the show.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, "Let's wait." So we waited and then we turned it on and I was in the hospital with Caroline for nearly a month, like day in, day out,
Mm-hmm.
learning about PIC lines, learning about respiratory intubation,
Mm-hmm.
was our life for a month. And I had never really thought about it anymore. Or
Mm.
I don't work in the medical field, so I don't get that. I don't see that every
The
day.
world. Mm-hmm.
The exposure, yeah. So watching The Pit, if you're not familiar with the show, it's essentially takes place in an emergency room in Pittsburgh, and every episode is an hour in a shift. And so they really get into the nitty gritty of when a patient comes in, like what they do, everything down to like what room they put them in. Okay, and they talk about what's going on with them. They talk about where they're positioning things. Like it's not like ER or Grey's Anatomy or House or anything like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
very in the weeds. Um, and my husband and I watched a few episodes, and I felt myself feeling very comfortable. I'm not saying someone who spent a month in a hospital is the same as these people who've trained for years
Mm-hmm.
and years and years, but it really brought me back to the environment I was in with Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
And for my husband, it was too much. And he
Mm-hmm.
was like, I can't watch this anymore. And he had to step away and was like, you can watch this on your own. I just can't do it. It's bringing me
Mm-hmm.
back. And I had the same reaction, but I felt so comfortable. I felt like this brings me back to like our day in and day out with her.
Yeah, like, and
Like
I
it was
want to be
all
back, right?
I want to
Like
be
a
back.
sense
And
of
not
like
saying, yeah,
familiarity, right?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. It's and he just couldn't do it. And I respect that and I understand, but it was just interesting as somebody who I find human behavior fascinating. I
Totally.
was just like, this is so interesting how he's like I feel like most people, if they're triggered by a show, would pull away and be like, I can't watch this. But I felt like I needed to be in it. I wanted to be in it. I wanted to be
Mm-hmm.
there. And I realized it was I wanted to be back with her. I wanted to be back
Mm-hmm.
in the rounds every morning. I wanted to, be back in the room asking, where her lines are going or what medication is she getting. Like, and that might sound crazy, but it felt like I I was in that world again. And even though
Mm-hmm.
she's not here and it just felt like so familiar and comfortable to me. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe in another life I worked
It's
as an
like
ER doctor.
maybe, but I mean the trauma too, the trauma of it all and like being there also had her a part of it, right? It's like that
Yeah.
and part, right? Like you got to be with her. It was traumatic, but she was there and she was a part of it. And like a lot of the time when we think about our rawest days of grief or like in those moments, like they were so incredibly hard, but like feeling that hardness or like the trauma and the pain actually helps you feel a lot closer to them and all the feelings that you were feeling, all the love that came during
Yeah.
that time too, right? I totally get it. Yeah.
I Yeah, I mean, as lost moms, I think we're always looking for a dotted line to our
Mhm.
kids. Like
Mhm.
we're always looking for, well, oh, like, whether it's a sign or it's a song or it's um, anything like, oh, that was their favorite food when I was pregnant. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you want to talk about it. You want to share that. And even though people don't really get it, like
Mm-hmm.
to you, it's like it's that dotted line again. It's that
Mm-hmm.
connection to them that you are like, this happened. This was
Mm-hmm.
very meaningful to me. And okay, so like a hospital room reminds me of my daughter. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's how it is. That's all she knew was a
Mm-hmm.
hospital
Mm-hmm.
room.
I feel
So
like I feel like you and I are really similar, but I feel like our husbands are also really similar too. Because like as much as
there.
I would love to go back to the hospital and go into like that dotted line and the grief and all of that, my husband's like, nope, I'm good. Like,
I
don't want to go back
yes.
there. And I'm like, I want to submerge myself in that. It's very much the same in our house
I,
too.
I wanted to go to Stanford and give birth to Maverick there. Like I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to see all the doctors and the nurses and have
Mm-hmm.
them meet Maverick. Like I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
connect those two worlds.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, it's too far, A, but B, yeah, my husband is very much like, I can't go back there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it.
I've closed that part and I don't really want to go back, which makes sense. Like
Yeah.
everyone grieves differently, but I feel like maybe this is a male partner kind of way of coping with that too, because my husband would be exactly the same. Totally.
Yeah, totally.
All right, well, to wrap us up, why don't you give us, if you feel comfortable, a little bit of update of like how life looks like for you now? We kind of got into it at the beginning, but like what's next for you?
Well, you know, that's a good question.
Mhm.
I am just kind of the year, his year is coming up, and
Mhm.
I kind of told myself the year mark is when we're going to start talking about, you know, if I wanted to go back to work, kind of look into
Mhm.
options. I think it was really important to me to build like a network of moms and like
Mhm.
meet people. And I'm a very community oriented person. If you can't
Mhm.
tell, we connected
Mhm.
on Instagram.
Mhm.
Um, and so after I kind of created that, I kind of have a good infrastructure. And so I'm kind of exploring like maybe going back to work, maybe potentially going back to school and working in grief. That is another kind of path that I'm considering. But right now, it's really just I'm just trying to focus on Mav and not take myself too much out of it.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, and you know, potentially eventually grow our family, of course.
Mhm.
That's always it's a big juicy topic, but it's always something I'm
Mhm.
kind of like, I want to wait a little bit. So,
Totally. I
yeah.
totally get it. Now, obviously, when you had Caroline and when Caroline died, you became a different version of yourself. Like, did you feel that different version again after Maverick was born?
I would say yes,
Mhm.
like becoming a mom to an Earthside child really unlocks like something in you of just this pure like it's like you're constantly in between two worlds.
Mhm.
And I feel like I'm being pulled into this world with Maverick, my Earthside child, and into this world with Caroline, who is no longer here.
Mhm.
And I'm constantly trying to figure out ways of honoring her while mothering him.
Mhm.
Um, and it's this really um, confusing, wonderful, dynamic, like array of emotions whenever he does something so sweet. Giggles, started walking. It's like I instantly am like, oh my gosh, he's walking, and you know, or but then it's like I wish I could experience this with
Mhm.
Caroline. Like,
Mhm.
and I envision what that life would look like with her. With would she help him walk? Like I instantly
Mhm.
like, just picture her in the picture. And so I think that I've learned to take grief with me in this new version and just it's just with me in every moment and she's with
Mhm.
me in every moment. And, you know, that Bri after Caroline died of just having all this time to grieve, and that's all I did was grieve and mother her. And I
Mm-hmm.
had her until a year ago, and now I'm trying to figure out how to like mother both of my babies.
Mm-hmm. And to integrate everything, right?
Integrate everything. And then,
Mm-hmm.
once he starts talking and understanding, like that's going to be a whole nother, I mean, something you're probably dealing with Senna
Oh, yeah,
is like,
yeah. I actually just sent out, what is it today, Tuesday? I sent out a newsletter this morning. It was called I Just Want My Sister, because like that's what she says all the time now. And I'm
oh
like,
my
where
gosh.
does this
Oh,
come from? This is like my new thing where it's like, if there's a lot coming out on the other side
yeah.
of them talking, and I'm sure there's way more for me to discover still. But now that she's starting to find her words, I'm like, where are you because I talked to her about Vienna, but I don't really like talk to her that much. She's only 2. Like there's she
Yeah.
doesn't get it, but she talks about her sister all the time, and I'm kind of like not weirded out, but I'm like, "Oh my God, like is this what it's going to be like?" Like I'm like, I am not ready. Like this is next era. Like I feel like after loss it's like this version of you and this version of you and this version of you, and it's like continually jumping into a new era, and like that's my next era is like doing this with Senna and like integrating her on a different capacity with William and Vienna, and it's like whew, that's a big one,
Yeah.
right?
I know. Totally. No, totally.
Mhm.
Like that's, I think that, I mean, I, I think that's from my perspective, I think that is so beautiful that
I
she
think it
like,
is too. I know.
that's really sweet. Even if she doesn't understand,
Mhm.
call me foo-foo. I believe our babies know each other.
I
Like
do
I
too.
believe like Caroline knows Mav and like he knows her and
Oh
he
yeah.
like it's not they don't know any different. Like
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
they're not physically here. They don't know any different. So to them it's just they're that's who they are to them.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we don't have that same we're not on that same playing field.
No,
We like, no, they're not here.
adults like talk
No.
ourselves out of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're so
And it's just
logical. Mhm.
yeah. And so I told Jordan, I told like when Mav's older, he's totally gonna tell people like he's a dead sister and I'm here for it. Like I'm like
Yeah,
the teachers and parents can talk to me. That's fine. Like
bring
he's
it
going to
on.
talk about her.
Mhm, mhm. I feel the same. The funniest new part of Senna though right now is like she'll be like at first it was like so sweet and I was like, but now she'll be like, this is my sister's snack or her pillow. Like you can't touch it. Or she'll be like, she'll do something naughty and be like, my sister did it. And I'm like, my God. It's like you can't not laugh. It's like
Right.
so precious, but it's also like, oh my God, okay, this is the next level. Like we keep going up
Yeah.
to the next level. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Tell
Oh,
me,
that's so sweet.
tell me the one thing that you like the most of this new version of you.
Oh my gosh. Let me think for a second. What I like most about this new version of me. I think I've kind of I don't know. That's hard. Like the thing that comes to my mind is I can be more like I can figure things out. Like I
Hmm.
trust myself to figure things out.
Hmm.
I'm no longer I used to deal with I used to have or probably still do generalized anxiety disorder. And so certain things would really trigger me into deep anxious spiral and it
Hmm.
was hard to function. Um and this was before Caroline. This is like 10 years ago.
Hmm.
Um and I'm sure I still have it, but I have so many tools. I don't want to talk therapy speak, but it really is like I have gone through the worst thing a person can go through
Hmm.
and I have managed to like come out of it and I'm not done with it, but I've managed to do a lot of healing and take care of myself to the point where I grew another human, which isn't
Hmm.
like I'm just really proud of myself that I can. get into the headspace to like have another baby, because that is not everyone can do that. And I respect that, but it's a lot. And then now I have my son, and anything that happens, I know I can figure it out. I know I'll get through it. I know the I have the capacity to, like I said, cope, watch reality TV. But I can get through whatever happens next. Like I don't need to spiral or freak out. Do I still spiral and freak out? Absolutely. But I also know now I'm not having a heart attack. I am going through a little moment of panic, and this is anxiety, and she's our friend and she keeps us safe. And then I can move through it. And I think that that's something like I said, 10-ish years ago, I had to go to lots and lots of therapy and figure out, where is this stemming from? I don't understand where this is stemming from. And now, having gone through what I went through with our daughter, and now having Mav, it's been like, I got this. Like, you know, any moment of crisis, I will figure out what to do. Like, I will get through it. And I think some of that too is just, as a mom, like whether you go through a major loss or not, like you kind of just know, like you have someone else that you have to take care of, and they look to you. And so you need to figure it out. Like, whether, you know what I mean? And
you have no other choice. Right?
Yeah, it's kind of on you. So I do love that I've felt more just confident in myself, and just more appreciative of myself and like what I've done and what I've gone through, and like giving myself grace. And yeah, I feel like I'm just rambling now. But like I guess, yeah, I think like seeing myself through all these years, like I feel like Caroline really taught me how strong I am. As cliche as that sounds, like she really showed me, no, you're capable of more than you think, Mom. And I think we all are, but not all of us are challenged like we are. You know what I mean? Like, thankfully, you know,
everyone's 10 out of 10 is different, right?
Exactly. So, I think that now looking at me now and seeing like I have Mav and Caroline, I can really say like, we got this.
Well,
you know,
that's wisdom, right? It sounds like
yeah,
you've learned a lot, you've gone through the journey, and like you stepped into the you that you've always really been, right? This version of you. And I think that's so beautiful, and a really perfect place to wrap us up as well.
Yeah.
Well, any messages or words of wisdom that you want to leave our viewers with, just to seal us off? I mean, what you just said was perfect. Give us a one-liner.
Okay.
Worm with a mustache. Actually, let's change it. If you could choose, let's make it lighter.
Okay. Let's go.
If you could choose one moment in reality TV that was your favorite, one that you could always go back to, that will never not make you laugh, what would it be?
I mean, okay, there's two.
Okay.
It's definitely gonna be the Sandoval. You know what I'm gonna say?
I do.
When they're in drag and Schwartzy is like on the toilet and Sandoval is like, look at him, he's a battered wife.
And then he kicks the door open and you just see Schwartz like so embarrassed, but also like kind of almost laughing.
Yes, that moment for sure.
Iconic.
And then I would say classic Kyle Cook, like summer should be fun. Amanda, not fun.
I love that. Two iconic moments. If you haven't exposed yourself to Vanderpump Rules or Summer House, that's going to be everyone's homework today that's listening.
Yeah.
Go
and
take
I'm
a
so
load
jealous
off.
Because I wish I could just rewatch everything
oh my
for the
God.
first time.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Enjoy, audience. Like, I hope that we are leaving you with a gift today. Some really good show recommendations and also some beautiful, words of wisdom from Bri. I'm so, thrilled to be able to sit down with her again and to hear about how life looks and how she feels and just get that inside scoop of, how she's been coping and, get a little window into her life. And I'm just so appreciative that we get to sit down again. And again, I'm going to speak on behalf of all the listeners. We are over the moon, thrilled for you, love seeing you shine, love seeing you step into this earth sign mother role, and love how you honor Carolyn with such devotion and love, and you just honor her so incredibly beautifully, and it's just amazing to witness.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I, again, loved getting to talk about our babies and reality TV, which I know that they support. Whatever heals mama.
Yeah, totally. Thank you, Bri. Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you enjoyed today's episode and want to connect more, Instagram is where I hang out most, so come join me in a beautiful community of lost moms for pregnancy after loss education, real-life grief talk, and deep solidarity. You can find me at the.doula.life and at the Rainbow Connection Podcast. And remember, you are never alone. I'll see you in the next episode.